and it's lovely, and it's intimate and interactive with Avril Lavigne.
Who thinks George is hot?
Hi, Avril.
Hey.
What's going on?
Oh, not much.
It's the whole circus begins again for you, does it not?
Again, yeah, the next 2 years of my life booked.
That's crazy.
It's funny.
Tell me about, it was so insane for you before, and then you stopped down. Talk about the transition that was for you, and to get ready to go again.
You mean when I was making the record?
Yeah, just when the last one ended, you finished the tour. Remember, you wrapped up here in Toronto, and then you had to make that adjustment, didn't you, to normal life, whatever that is?
Yeah, and it was great. It was probably the healthiest thing I could have done for myself. Just living and cooking and going grocery shopping and doing normal things.
And then you get back in the studio to make a record.
Yeah, well, that was the thing, is I didn't really take time off before the record. I ended up just moving into Rain, Maida, and Chantal Kravyatsyk's house in Malibu. I lived there for about 7 months and wrote songs and recorded, and it was great.
What's it like when you sit down and work with other people like that, in that sort of intimate setting?
Well, I mean, Chantal and I have just had a really great connection from the beginning. And so we just became really good friends. So it was like a family, and we are a family, Rain, Chantal, and I. So I mean, I just think it's so cool that they were a part of my record, because it wasn't just someone I wrote a song with or someone that produced my record. It's people who are really close to me. So it's awesome.
So let me get this going now. Did you feel any pressures, and what kind of pressures are you feeling as the new record comes out?
Well, there was weird things that went through my mind. Sometimes when I was writing, I was like, oh man, people are so gonna ask me about this line. But I didn't really, I wanted to make sure that I didn't feel stressed making the record and pressure. So, I just kind of said to management that I wanted to kind of work on it on my own and do my thing, and I didn't really want to give people songs right away, and they totally respected that and gave me my freedom and just gave me my space.
And so now you have lines on the record that people are going to ask you about. For example?
Here we go.
Let's talk about the first single.
Okay.
What's that all about, Avril? When you're letting yourself out now, you're telling people about what's going on, right?
I actually wrote that track when I was 17 years old, when I first met one of my guitar players, Evan, and he was playing. I just think it's really special that I was 17, he was 18. He wrote the guitar, and then I came up with the whole deal with what it was about and the lyrics, and I just wrote it about being a chick, and I had just gotten out of high school, and I think there's a lot of pressures on girls these days, especially when you're younger and you just have guys, with ulterior motives. But
I think they're pretty plain.
It's about being strong, having respect for yourself, and being able to say no. And girl power.
Well, but that's important, right?
It's very important.
Think about it in the context of other people who are on television and other people who are, have songs on the charts. There's definitely a line where people cross. They decide sex is going to become a part of their marketing tool.
Yeah.
Do you get those pressures to do that?
Yeah, I have, I could be on the cover of certain magazines, or I could be in certain magazines, but I turn them down because they say, well, you have to dress this way. And I've been in a lot of situations where the photographer has been like, show your legs or whatever. I'm not really into that. I have no problem with that, but I don't know. I just, I know what I want, I know what I believe in, and I just always stand up for myself, and I think that's important.
Did you get a sense as this thing started for you that what you say and how you act actually does have an impact on the people that listen to your music?
I didn't know it would be like that. I think it's great. I think it's really cool. I write my songs come from personal experiences of mine, and I think that's cool because a lot of my fans have written me letters being like, I totally know what you're talking about. I'm going through the same thing right now, and it's so rewarding for me to have people tell me, that my songs have touched them, and that they can relate, because I'm just writing about things that I go through, and what I go through emotionally is what everyone else in this room goes through. You know, growing pains and dating and getting your heart broken and love and loving boys and hating boys.
Avril Lavigne, she's going through it. Let's get to a question now from the audience. People obviously want to talk. Let's go to Matt. Matt over there, if you look over your shoulder. Matt, what's your question for Avril?
I just want to start out by saying I think it's great that you're such a strong and independent role model for all your young female fans.
Thank you, Matt.
Did you ever think that you were going to get to the point of popularity where you'd have so many female fans dressing like you and acting like you?
No.
And would you like to go out sometime?
Okay. No, I don't think, you know, I definitely never thought that I would get to this point. I don't think anyone ever really thought that. But let me say, it's pretty freaking cool.
Well, someone asked you on a date, so depending on how the night goes, perhaps you have plans. You know, you have lots of things that you can actually do. Does it ever get weird for you when it comes to people telling you how they feel and how your songs make them feel? Especially if they're personal things that you're writing about.
No, I love it when, you know, when people have, you know, can relate and stuff and, you know, get it.
So this record's a little different if you think about it. There's a bit of it's a roots here. And that's what, you know, when I listened to it, I thought there's something else.
Singer-songwriter-esque, you know what I mean? I think, you know, now that I've had time to grow and I'm 19, you know, I wrote my first record when I was 16 and now I'm 19. I feel like I've grown up really fast and, you know, the record is, you know, older and you can tell that I've grown, and I think because I've grown and stuff, I just lyrically, you know, was able to just take it somewhere a little deeper and just express myself better.
Were there things that you were feeling on the last tour where you started to realize that the songs that you were singing from the first record, you know, perhaps weren't in sync with actually what you were going through as a human being? I mean, you write your songs and, like, you're still singing them 2 years later. And are you saying, are you asking if And then you start to realize that what you're singing and what you went through.
Oh, you're so over it.
Yeah?
Yeah. Totally.
So did you think about that when you wrote this record?
It's really funny because a lot of the songs are darker, and it's funny because everyone's like, whoa, like, are you not happy? And I'm totally happy. You know, I was just writing about things that I was going through at the time, and I was kind of going through weird stuff.
Intimate and interactive with Avril Lavigne. Let's go on the road, down the 401, head that way east for a while to Montreal. A question for Avril Lavigne.
Hi, my name is Lad from Montreal. My question is this. You started off doing country music before. Would you ever go back to your country roots or even do a tour with Shania Twain? Would that be a possibility?
You want to be a country singer?
No, thank you. No, I wouldn't go back to singing country. I mean, what it was I wanted to sing, and my mom saw that in me, and she was like, trying to get me to sing wherever she could, so I started off by singing my first solo in church, and then just branched out from there and started singing at fairs, and you had to sing country songs. And then I was like, Mom, I don't like these songs, and I didn't really want to sing gospel music and country music anymore. I was getting to the point where I was like, okay, this is kind of embarrassing. But, you know, I was getting older and realizing, you know, growing into myself and realizing what I wanted to do. So I started writing songs, and I was writing when I was 14. Well, I was writing when I was younger, but writing real songs when I was 14. And then they just started to be different and then turned into, you know, what my songs are like now.
Let's go on the road right now and take a phone call. Perhaps someone can relate to your songs. Mary Jane, Prince Edward Island. Mary Jane, what's your question for Avril?
Hey, Avril.
Hi.
Hey, just want to say love your music, love your style.
Thank you.
Okay, and here's my question. What would be one thing that would have to make you give up all the success you've had so far in your life?
What was the one thing you would have to give up? So you give up all your success to go back and have. Is there something you really want that you give all this up for?
No, I have everything I want.
You have everything you want?
I'm the happiest girl in the world.
Well, there you go, Mary Jane.
Thank you very much, Joyce.
You better get yourself some new goals. You never know, you want to do something else.
And I'm so happy right now. It's awesome.
Do you get the opportunity to reflect? A lot of bands that we talk to don't really get to appreciate what's going on around them, both the good and the bad part of life, and they live in that bubble. It's a whirl, and then when life catches up to them, it's kind of weird. Do you take time? Do people around you make you take time to reflect?
appreciate what's going on.
Yeah.
Anyone in my camp or my band or just in my crew, if they ever saw me being ungrateful and just not appreciating what's happening to me, they would just totally slap me. I come from, you know, just a regular home, you know, not really having, you know, too much money or not being able to like travel or do anything, and you know, I always had hand-me-down clothes and everything. So now I'm in the situation where, you know, it's easier, and it's, you know, I really appreciate that. And I'm also in the situation where my music's doing really good, and I totally appreciate every single fan and every single person who supports me in my music. And I mean, it's so incredible because like I was just in Japan and the kids over there are like freaking out, and I'm just like, how can this be? You know?
That is so far away.
It's incredible. I'm totally grateful and thankful.
Is there ever anxiety about will they like what you do?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Zandra, over my shoulder, has a question for you. Hey,
Hey,
Zandra.
Avril, how are you?
Hi. Good.
We all know that you play a huge role in sponsoring the War Child Foundation of Canada.
Yeah.
And I was just curious as to what inspired you to become so involved in making a difference in the world today.
Well, I was learning, you know, some of the stuff that was going on. Chantal was telling me about it, and because her and Rain were involved, and I was just like, wow. You know, some of the stories she would tell me about, you know, how girls are being raped all the time over there, how, you know, I mean, it's a country, there's, over in these countries, they're completely poor, they don't have medicine, they don't have doctors. So many people are like living with AIDS, and there's so much going on that people don't know, and I'm just like, wow, you know, I'm in a situation where I should be learning about this and speaking about it to try to bring awareness to, you know, have people, you know, try to get people to know about it. And I mean, it's really dangerous to go over there, so I'm gonna have to, you know, do other things to support them. You know, like I sang on the record, and I'm sitting down with them and going through more ideas. But it's important to me because it's a whole other world over there, and I don't know if I have the time to go on about it. But
I think you made the point.
it's, you know.
If you take a look over our shoulder where
pretty
Zandra was,
crazy.
people outside on Queen Street really want to see you. Let's take a look.
Okay.
Are you ready? Here comes Avril Lavigne. People have been lining up since early this morning to get a chance to see Avril Lavigne. Oh, she is! This is amazing. Now we have a question in the audience. Somebody wants to ask a question.
Word up, Avril. Just my girlfriend Courtney just wants to say how much she loves you first.
I love you.
Thank you.
Wow,
I
I'm
appreciate
jealous.
it.
All right, I was just wondering, has Jesse's departure in the band, was there a change from Jesse's departure in the band, and if so, how? Discuss.
No, I mean, there's not much of a change. I mean, we're still friends, and our new guitar player, Craig, was a friend of ours for a while because he toured with us. So it didn't really feel like we had a new band because we were all friends anyway. Everyone was friends with everyone, so it's all good.
And that's how the whole community works. So Craig from God now in the band, Jesse back in Closet Monster. This is the talking, more of the rocking. Avril Lavigne, intimate and interactive. We'll be right back.